what do I mean when I say decolonizing nonprofits? In large part, why I think the framework of decolonization is helpful is because when we look at Indigenous governance, when we look at Indigenous economies, for example, they tend to be egalitarian, democratic, cooperative. They very much are built up in a certain type of cooperativism in terms of people participating from their ability and people also being able to get what their needs. My research focuses mostly on African Indigenous communal societies, and there are certain principles of governance that we see that are common to a number of different African communal societies. The principle of Mbangi, which is basically a political practice of governance, which includes all the members of a particular tribe or society. And the idea is that everyone has a role to play, but everyone should be included in the decision-making process. And the reason for that is that it is, one, you get more buy-in, and two, then people can actually move together and implement whatever it is in a much more effective way, in a much more communal way, in part because you're getting buy-in. It's very much driven by a consensus process, right? There's also obviously the principle of Ubuntu, I am because we are, which really talks about the interconnectedness and also the need to kind of move in unity and unison, but brings up principles of cooperativism, of Ujima around collective action, right? And so by and large, like in looking specifically at African communal societies or African Indigenous societies, there was very much a democratic process. It was very much based on cooperativism and really was around collective action. And so now what I want to talk a little bit about is like, well, how do we take some of these principles and, you know, again, you can find these threads and these principles kind of almost through every single Indigenous society in terms of how folks organize themselves. But how do we take these principles and apply them, and how are folks currently applying them today to nonprofit organizations, to community organizations, and building the institutions that they want to see that are values aligned, right?